Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again in this YouTube astrological segment. I'm going to be talking about the transit Sun conjunct one's natal Pluto. Now, the thing about this is when we're talking about transits of the Sun in astrology, it involves focus, attention, and concentration of energy. Since we're talking about the Sun contacting Pluto, this could be about a very strong focus, attention, and concentration of energy could be on power and control. Say if you have this in your fifth house, for example, this could be power and some kind of control issues or even power struggles that you're focusing on in romance. It could be with a child. Some cases it could be it may be over maybe somebody that you share, you're involved with some kind of hobby or amusement or enjoyment. Maybe there's a rift in your connection or something, and you're, for whatever reason, you might be involved in some power struggle with that person. It could also be really the Pluto is also about our transformation. So this could also be about where you're really putting a lot of your attention on making a major change or transformation in your life. Say if you have this occurring in your 12th house, it could be something with spirituality. It could be a metaphysical, maybe transformation, which could include maybe astrology even in some cases. Now, Pluto is also associated with rebirth and regeneration. So you could be, in some cases, be about bringing back something, reviving something. This could be where you put a lot of energy and vitality into bringing something back in your life. If it's in the fourth house as transit, it could be something with maybe with your home life, your family. It could be if you've had something happen to your home. Maybe part of it was destroyed, or was a tornado in some isolated cases. This could be a time where you might be involved in some reconstruction or renovation. It could simply be something that you were close to home with that you're trying to revive and bring back. I mean, the fourth house could be about what we're being close to home, or maybe a connection with somebody you felt close to home with. Now, also too, it could be about a lot of energy really going into maybe unveiling some kind of secret. If you have this, say, for example, if this is in Scorpio in the fourth house, it could be going maybe something involving a family secret, something with your ancestry, your roots, maybe some kind of traditions. Maybe if it's in Scorpio in the fourth house, it could be some kind of criminal maybe background you find out, you're unveiling regarding a family member, somebody in your ancestry that you might have been suspicious of. Now, Pluto is also about psychology as well, so it could also manifest in some cases with really putting a lot of energy into psychological matters. You might be psychoanalyzing somebody in your family. If this is in your fifth house, it could be a child, it could be a lover. The seventh house, it could be a significant other. It could be somebody that you have a close friendship with. Now, Pluto is also about deep research. So this could be about where you're putting a lot of focus and concentration of energy into doing something that requires extensive research. If this is in the fifth house, for example, it could be over something sports related. Maybe you're trying to research some, statistical information on sports athletes to do maybe a paper or some kind of writing. Uh, Say if it's in Virgo, especially, you're having that transit. I mean, it could be where you're doing research on something sports related, but you're trying to compile a lot of data and stats on people to compose your article or blog or what have you. Pluto is also associated with investigation. So this could be a time where you're maybe more strongly into trying to investigate some situation. If it's in your second house, it could be some kind of monetary matter. Maybe there's lost funds and you don't understand what happened to them. There was some kind of expenditure that you didn't make, and you're trying to figure out where this came from and maybe who done it. Pluto is also, of course, associated with death at this time. So in some cases, this could just simply be about focusing on putting a figurative end to death to something. It doesn't necessarily mean that there's going to be, an actual literal death that you're dealing with, but in some cases, it may be. If it's in the ninth house, it may be focusing on the death of an in-law or a grandchild in some cases. Also, too, the Pluto is also associated with shared resources. So if you're in a situation that involves shared resources, you've got some kind of joint, bank or checking account, you're sharing, a credit card, maybe with somebody in some isolated cases. This could be a time where you're putting a lot of attention on this and it could be for various reasons. It could be about, well, who's contributing what? Is this a fair 50-50 share in terms of what my resources are and what this other person's resources are? Those are things that might come into question at this time. And also, Pluto is also associated with insurance. So it could be a matter that you're trying to focus on. That could be an insurance-related matter at this time, and some cases it could be some kind of insurance fraud if this is making, say, an adverse aspect to your natal Neptune. If this falls in the 12th house of deception, it could be over some kind of insurance fraud that you might be investigating. Now, anatomically, Pluto is associated with the bladder and the prostate, and this could also be an issue where you might physically, be dealing with some issues with the bladder and or prostate, as an example, or something with the pelvic region. Remember, the sun is about the vitality, the physical energy, its physical energy, vitality, physical body. Pluto is associated with the bladder and the prostate, the pelvic area, the private sector in one's body. Now, another thing, too, is that we're looking at this. The sun is about our motivation and our drive. So you might be more motivated and driven more so than usual to some kind of crisis-related issue. Say if this falls in the 3rd house. It could be with a neighbor, with a sibling, or a cousin at this time. It could be something with your vehicle, maybe. This is also, you might feel strong incentive and motivation toward making a major change and transformation in your life. If you hadn't thought of done this in some time, this could be the time where you may decide that this has to be done. The sun is about our energy and vitality, so it can indicate a lot of energy and vitality in this, and also about focusing on being motivated and driven, having the impetus to go beyond the surface and superficiality. This could be a friend, it could be an acquaintance, somebody you just met, and you're trying to see if they have like the superficial charm, if there's a facade. Is this person really as nice as what he or she acts like? Maybe you feel like you need to do some investigation online and maybe talk to some people that are connected with this person to understand this person better and make sure this person's on the up and up, basically. Say if this is in Virgo, it could be a very strong health transformation that you might focus on at this time. Now, in isolated cases, and not to be morbid or morose, now the sun is about our life. Pluto is about death. Some isolated cases, this could be about dealing, with death at this time. It could be, some cases, it could be one of the biological father, which is the sun. It could be a child. The sun is also associated with children. It could be the person in question in some isolated cases. If I'm not mistaken, when Robin Williams passed away, the transit sun in Leo made a tight conjunction to his natal Pluto. And again, the sun is about life. Pluto is about death. This was done in a way, this happened in a way which gained a lot of attention and notoriety. That's what Leo, the zodiac sign Leo, is about. He had some other transits too. This transit by itself, I don't think necessarily is indicative of death of a person, but usually I would say it's gotta be accompanied by other transits. I believe he had some other transits, at least one in that fourth house of the end of life. I think transit Neptune, which is Neptune rules suicide, was in his fourth house of the end of life, if I'm not mistaken. So, and he may have had, I don't know about progressions, maybe he had some progressions that were accompanying this as well, but this is, I mean, some cases it can manifest in the end of one's life, because remember, the sun governs life, Pluto is about death. Hold on a moment, people. Sorry about that, I'm back. But anyway, the thing is to also keep in mind that, I mean, sometimes this could be power struggles with the father, biological father or child. You might be dealing with manipulation and jealousy for one or both these people, maybe one or more of these people, what have you. This is also a time too where you have to be careful, because this could also be manifest and being driven by some kind of power. And it's okay to have some power in your life and where you're going, your life direction, but not to a point where you're gonna romp over people and try to gain position of authority just for the means of having power, being able to control others. You have to make sure that it's done for the right reasons. Having a position of power is okay, but remember, it does come with responsibility and about acting the right way toward others as well. Another thing is, in some cases, this can manifest in shining the light on some kind of secret you might uncover. It could be the dark side of somebody or something. If it's in the fourth house, it could be a prominent family member, the less dominant parent, which is often the mother. Somebody in your ancestry or your roots. If it's in the eighth house, maybe it's somebody that you're in a sexual or intimate relationship with. This also could be a time, and say if it's in Scorpio, it might shine the light on somebody that might be rather vindictive or obsessive or have very jealous nature, a very power control, somebody that's really a control freak, somebody that's power hungry. Now, in some cases, remember that Pluto can obliterate or it could give power to something. Now, the sun is about our vitality. So, in some cases, we might feel our vitality at this time might feel like it's basically squashed and obliterated. It could be, where, or for whatever reason, we've expended a lot of energy and it might be time to recharge the battery, so to speak. Or in some cases, it might give extra power to it at this time. And Pluto also is about surgery. So in some cases, this could be about some kind of surgical, it could be a surgical procedure that is associated with the sun sign that it hits. If it's in Libra, it could be something with the lower back, maybe, or something it could be something with the kidneys. If that's possible, if there is well, I had a kidney stone pulverized, and that may be seen as a surgery. But anyway, if there's something too, if it's in Virgo, it could be the spleen or something with the pancreas. And really, that's about basically the only other thing I wanted to state, that remember that Pluto is also about crisis. So in some cases, this could be about putting a lot of energy and vitality into dealing with the crisis, having the willpower to perhaps deal with it. And maybe even it could be a crisis that might involve a child or the biological father or some dominant, male figure in your life. So anyway, people, that will conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, people, Edwin Learnard saying stay well.